Hey everybody, welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and it is not Subs Week. I actually was asked to fill in for Cole today, so I'm pretty excited about that. And the question today is basically spirituality in unspiritual ways. Okay, so the question comes from Red Dragon 033195, and excuse me. It says, hi, so I've been studying indigenous faiths and noticed some similarities in spirituality, all based on language. Red Dragon goes on to explain how some deities from one area of the world, their names, once translated, mean the same as other deities once translated. At least that's what I'm gathering from this. It says, using my story as an example of finding your spiritual deities through unspiritual ways, whether they are academic, personal, or recreational, how have you found new aspects of your spirituality? We hear a lot about how tarot cards or altars build a practice or build beliefs, but not things that have nothing to do with spirituality on the surface. Me personally, I find that a lot of not necessarily spiritual things push me spiritually. For instance, my goddess is Isis. And my connection to her was something that I don't necessarily think is spiritual. I connected with her. First, I didn't want to have Isis as a goddess. Before I knew anything about her, I just thought she was too commercial, which sounds horrible. But mainly I wanted to connect with my Irish heritage, so I wanted to have an Irish goddess. That's not how it worked out. And so, when I was young, I had a horrible fear of death. I had a lot of very traumatic deaths when I was younger. That's not uncommon. A lot of people have horrible deaths in their family, but I had some horrific deaths that they died in horrible ways, I should say. Death scared the crap out of me, basically. I had a deep fear of it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to think about it. I did not want to concentrate 1 second of one day on death or the afterlife or anything. I just want to pretend like that didn't happen. So when Isis came into my life, after a while I realized that she's just going to be there, so I better figure out what she's about. Well, Isis is a protector of the dead, which kind of creeped me out a little bit at first because I didn't really understand that. But I realized that my connection to her was to help me through my fear of death. I'm not saying that I'm all hunky-dory with it now, but it's not something that scares me so bad. And I do have a concept of the afterlife that I'm comfortable with. So I connected with her in my fear of death, which not necessarily spiritual, I guess in essence it may be, but it wasn't something I thought was spiritually connected to her. The other thing that I connected with her, and this helped me build better relationships with my family and my husband, or relationships that led up to my husband, is Isis has a fierce dedication to her family, to her husband. She will do what she has to do to protect them, and that is something I resonated with completely. So that wasn't necessarily spiritual, but the fact that she's such a she's such a mothering figure, and she's such a a dedicated partner, that is what I wanted to be more like. I wanted to have that deeper connection to people in my life and my family and things like that. So those weren't necessarily spiritual things, I didn't think. What drives my spirituality, or facets of my spirituality now, are things such as I am a huge animal activist, an environmentalist, and those things push me to be very connected with animal spirit and the Fae. So the fact that those sort of unspiritual kind of things do connect into my spirituality. I'm a huge arts and crafts kind of person, and I think cultivating your own tools in your spirituality, or just in general, just creating things, is such an amazing experience that's not necessarily spiritual, but when you turn it into creating tools and things for your spirituality, it turns a mundane thing into a very spiritual thing. So I think for me, those are different avenues that I have taken that have been not necessarily spiritual, but have led me to a deeper spirituality and have added a lot of, flavor to my spirituality. I think a lot of things can do that for you. Even people, when you meet people, the connection you have with them, whether it's, learning about their spirituality, just listening to them in their daily life talk about, if they're part of a religion that you're not familiar with, and they talk about a celebration or something like that, you can take in that experience, and it can change you. It can change your spirituality. But I think everything can. I mean, everything we come into contact, when you go to work and you have just a horrible day, somebody, everybody was crabby, and you just didn't feel like everything you touched turned to crap, and then you're driving home, and it's been either snowy or rainy, and you look up and the sky is just beautiful, and you see this beautiful rainbow, and then you see these birds fly by, and you're like, spring, and all of a sudden you're connected again. Even you had all this bad stuff, just visually seeing these things reconnects you with your divine. So I think I've had more things that were non-spiritual connect me spiritually with my path, or have enhanced it, than spiritual things. It's all about what connects you, whether it's reading, learning about or studying indigenous faiths, or going on a hike, or traveling, or meeting new people, or trying new things. I think they all can change you. In that change, we are spiritual beings. So everything that we do will change us spiritually. At least that's my opinion on it. I hope I answered your question. I'm kind of rambling, so I'm going to wrap it up now. Anyways, I'm really glad I was able to fill in for Cole tonight, and I'm really glad I was asked, so yay for me. And I believe next week is Subs Week. Yes, I'm going to do my video this weekend, so I'm all prepared. And you'll see me next Thursday. So thank you everybody for watching. Have a fantastic weekend. I hope you have good weather where you're at, because we finally are. And until next time, blessed be. Bye.